All right, so today we're going to be doing DBZ Budokai, 100% category. And before we get into the actual run, just for anyone curious, we're going to show the options here in the setup for this game. So, from the options, we're going to play on very easy with very weak enemies. Don't be fooled, they can still be a bit challenging here. And then, for the controller settings, in case you're interested in running this, you want to set up custom and you want to put your guard on R1, punch and kick on L1, and then punch kick guard on L2. But we're good to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the story mode. That's where our run starts. So for our timer friends, we're going to count back from 5. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
We're off to the races.
Yeah. So we're going to go through 3 different sagas here. The Saiyan Saga, the Namek Saga, and the Android Saga. And we're going to go through a few fights in them. We're going to start off with Goku for most of the early parts of the run. But what's really cool is that when we do the 100%, we're going to flip back and play as the other characters on the other side of all these fights, which is something nice for the 100% versus the any percent category.
It has been a very long time since I've seen this game.
So we're going to have kind of a bread and butter combo with Goku here that I'll show in this fight, and then I'll explain the mechanics of it afterwards. But first we got to beat up Raditz because he came to cause trouble for our planet, but that was a pretty clean fight there, no issues.
So the main reason for Raditz, who is Goku's brother, comes to Earth. It's like, okay, why haven't you taken over this planet? And it's like, oh, you hit your head as a kid, didn't you? I'm like, okay, I'm gonna kidnap your son now. Okay, bye. And then off they go.
Exactly. So there's these random trainings interspersed, and despite this being early, this is actually really annoying, and it pulls really hard some directions. So I'm actually gonna focus here because we need to end up on this line at the 0 timer. No! So it pulls really hard, but you can just retry it, it's not a big deal. It's one of those, if you rotate your joystick around in circles, that's what it wants you to do. But it's so easy to overshoot it. And then it randomly pulls certain directions. But we got it that time. So, second try, not too bad. And then we're going to do a bunch of fights before the next trainings. So what we do with one of the techniques for speedrunning Budokai is you're going to focus on guard canceling, which is what we're going to do with Goku in these fights. So to start the combo, we do 4 kicks, and then on the 4th kick you hold the kick button, which for me is triangle, and then while I'm holding it, I guard cancel, so I kind of do a side step, you'll see, which allows me to chain into another combo after that. And for Goku, it's basically 3 different combos, and then you hit him with a Kamehameha at the end. Oops. So that's the guard cancel, that's a guard cancel there, and then a Kamehameha right here. Now Nappa's nice because he has a pretty big hitbox, he's easy to knock around. But we're going to fight him again later, and he's much more difficult with the other characters in the 100% run. But that was a pretty clean fight, all things considered. So in the time we're shooting for, my PB is going to be about 56 minutes for the 100%. But one thing that's pretty cool is that you inherently finish an any percent run while doing the 100% run. So you can still, which I've done many times, is you get an any percent PB, and you still upload it before your 100% craps the bed in the latter half. So right now we're effectively also playing an any percent run.
Do you have a quick minute?
Yeah.
So we just hit $1,700.
Ooh.
So we are insanely close. We are $280 away from our $2,000 goal. And we still have one more run to go after this, chat. $280. Can we do it? Can we get 280 or 280 by the end of DBZ Budokai? I know we can do it. Get those donations in.
DBZ is a great game. Donate to reliving your childhood anime where you'd watch this after school.
Exactly.
So what we're doing now is we're going to switch. We're going to play Kid Gohan. In this fight, you just mash punch over and over and over because his punch comes out really quickly. And for the most part, it interrupts Vegeta when he's trying to do anything. But you'll probably see a bit of the RNG that comes into play in this game. The big source of perhaps time loss or time save is what the AI chooses to do. And by that I mean when an AI or you block, there's no chip damage, as you can see. So sometimes they just hold up block forever and you lose 30 seconds and there's not too much you can do about it. You can try to grab them, but then they'll usually just punch you when you try to do that, so I generally try to avoid that. But that's actually the end of the first Saiyan saga, the first part of the run. Pretty short. And now we're going to move on to the Namek saga. And we're going to have 2 trainings that we roll into here. And
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
We just hit $2,000.
Oh! Nice. This is amazing.
So let me read off. Oh my god, the bid war exploded. I'm gonna get to those donations real quick. From Prince T Dime sent in $30, just a heart, and that went towards Pokemon TCG. That went towards, I'm not sure which one. But we have Arclight who sent in a $90 donation. No comment, but thank you for that. And from Thought Leadership, who sent in $280
wow.
in honor of Yazarian for being the best ally ever. And that went, Thought Leadership and Prince T Dime both went towards the TCG starter deck.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you so much.
We doubled up what we initially set out to raise. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
I'm going back to my mute, so I'll chime in when necessary.
Yeah. This is another training, and one thing you can do in this game, if you hit 2 power-up moves, you and your opponent, you go into burst mode, and what you can't see is I'm rotating the joysticks super fast to try to win those fights. But the tricky part is with this training, you have to trigger 5 of these, and Vegeta doesn't always do a move that triggers it, so there's quite a lot of RNG in this part. We've hit 2 of them, which we're doing alright. But see, when he does that, that doesn't help anything. Doesn't help anything. There we go. And for this, if you're running it, you want to win 3 of them. You can win 2 or 3, but then you just throw the last 2 because it takes more time to actually try to win this than to just lose it. But see, he did like a kind of an uppercut here, which doesn't really align with me. I need him to do sort of his forward punch, which we connect there. So now I just let him beat me with that one. Come on, Vegeta. You can do it. Maybe. He's not going to do it. Where is he? There we go. So sometimes if you get 5 in a row right away, then you get the super good time on this, but oftentimes Vegeta will just do what he just did. And then unfortunately you lose a bunch of time. But generally in the speedruns we avoid doing those because it takes so much time for so little damage, so it's kind of fun if you're playing the game normally, but for an actual speedrun it's not really going to help you. But now we're training, so we're going to fight a fake Vegeta in preparation for our other fights. So pretty good start. Want him to get up though. He might be a little short there. Nope, we got it. Nice. So overall, we're doing pretty good with this run. So that any percent pace we're shooting for is about 25 minutes and 43 seconds. Right now, I would guess we're about 30 seconds behind my PB, which I think is pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah. So now, Goku's come back, and he's got to fight a couple more people. So we're going to do 2 Goku fights, and then Ginyu is going to swap bodies with us, and then we're going to play as Ginyu, and we're going to have to fight Goku. So we start these fights by transforming into sort of just a power-up there, which gives us more damage and also knocks him back a little bit. But some of these fights you might see where that doesn't go quite as well as anticipated. And one thing we really look for in this run is just getting the first hit against the AI, because we haven't seen it yet, but things can start to go really bad really quickly if the AI gets the first hit against you, despite, again, it being very easy. But that was a pretty clean fight.
Very nice, very nice fight.
So one thing I'll point out now that's going to be relevant later in the run is there's sort of counterintuitive in this game where the longer a combo goes, there's diminishing marginal returns to the damage. So it's better to do like 3-4 hit combos than to hit all 12 hits in a row, because the last hits would do almost no damage. So what you have to learn as you're learning this run is that you have to leave a little bit of space between all your combos so it resets the counter under Goku's health bar. Otherwise you're just going to not have much damage output. But you can see there, 3 hits. We were doing 3, 4, 5 hits just in sequence, not one long 12 hit. For Goku, it's not that hard, but it does become pretty tough with Gohan, where you could accidentally hit 20 hits in a row if you don't pause, and then you realize you're doing no damage. But Ginyu switched bodies with Goku, so now we're technically Goku, but we're playing as Ginyu, and we gotta fight Goku here.
So we gotta fight ourselves, basically.
Yeah. And Ginyu doesn't really have a strong combo, so this fight takes a bit of time, and as you can see, there's lots of defending going on there. So this is going alright so far, though. We're not getting hit or anything, it just takes some time. But you can see I'm getting up to 8 hits there, we don't really want that. And... come on. No! I have PTSD from so many fights where there's just a sliver of health left and then they just guard, and since there's no chip damage, then they just, you know, come back and beat the crap out of me, so... I always get nervous when they have a tiny bit of health and then they're just guarding there. But now we're gonna have the last 3 fights of the Namek Saga, because the big bad is Frieza, who came here. So we're gonna fight Frieza 3 times, trying to, you know, save the world. Frieza fights generally aren't too bad. At least the first couple. And then we'll, like I said earlier, when we do the 100%, we'll actually play as Frieza, and then we'll fight Goku.
So one might say the Frieza fights are fairly chill.
I think that's the perfect way to describe them. There we go, nice. So a couple times I missed the guard cancel there, so if you saw, and I'm sure it'll happen again, but where I do the kicks and the leg stays in the air, and then the leg comes down without sidestepping, that's when my guard cancel didn't really work and I frankly messed up a little bit. And if you're learning the game, it's not that hard to learn, but as you play fighting games, it's hard to pull them off pretty consistently. But that's what practice is for. Yeah, 2 more Frieza fights. Now we just start in Super Saiyan mode, so we don't need to transform, we can just go straight to kicking Frieza in the face. Ah! There we go. That was a pretty good fight too, I think. It's hard to have perfect fights as you go through the game, as we saw earlier with the Raditz and Nappa and all those. Those were pretty flawless, but as you play through the game, the enemies do become harder, and you're not really gonna perfect finish them most of the time. So even if I just get hit a couple times or miss a couple combos, it's still, I think, a really good fight, like we just saw. So this is going to be the last Frieza fight. Starting in the air again. He's trying a little teleport trickery there. He's guarding a lot, which is not great. Uh-oh. Alright, I think we got it as long as we... Oh! There we go. Always that little sliver. Always that little sliver in these fighting games. But that's the end of the Namek saga. So we're going to keep moving right along. And then we're going to start the Android saga. Skipping all the cutscenes here. There are quite a lot of cutscenes. If you watch Dragon Ball Z, the anime, as you know, there's a lot of talking going on. And these cutscenes take quite a bit of time, but of course, speedrunning, we're going to skip all of them.
It's pretty much planet explodes, Goku goes into space, something 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 Garlic Jr. We don't talk about Garlic Jr.
Now we're going to have a new threat because we learned that someone from the future, Trunks, came and warned Goku of all the bad stuff that's going to happen. So now we're worried about impending danger.
Shoutouts to the cybernetic ghost of Christmas past from the future.
Pretty much. So we're fighting Android 19 now, and this fight is kind of fun for me because it can go really well or really poorly. So this actually went great. But if you get a bad combo against you, he just beats you pretty easily. I've lost a lot of time there, but I think we got really lucky there. But now we're going to have a couple fights as Piccolo. We're going to switch off Goku for a bit. Piccolo has to come in and help save the world. So we're going to see a bit of different combos here. Piccolo still uses guard canceling, but he doesn't hit quite as hard as Goku does, so it's a little... takes a little more patience, I would say, is how the fights go with Piccolo. Whoop.
So here we have the mitochondria fight.
Thanks. I was going to get into that, but I was focused too hard.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
So we're fighting Cell now, who is the big bad of this chapter as well. And basically Cell's gist, and DJ can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's here to basically absorb all the other androids and gain all of their power by killing them, pretty much, right?
So, yeah. So Cell is an android from the further future, and made up of all of the galaxy or the Earth's strongest fighters up to the, I believe, 19th Tenkaichi Budokai. So that would have been if you remember your Dragon Ball fights, that would have been up to the Goku versus TM Shinhan fight, the first one. Yeah. So that
distant
basically
future. Oh no!
Yeah.
Accidentally did a burst. See, we don't want to do this. We saw this in the training. Never want to do it again. Look how much time that takes for so little damage.
Oh no. Bursting with time loss.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world or anything, but it's still frustrating, you know, when that accidentally triggers.
$1 for every pun I made during this run, I could probably raise this to another 1,000.
All right. Looking at the time, I think we're actually doing pretty well. So we're going to have 4 more cell fights. And by the time we finish those, the PB would be about 25 minutes, 40 seconds. So I think we're actually pretty close to that. So now we're going to fight Cell 4 different times. First is Goku, and then we're going to play Teen Gohan a bit. So what's going on here is Cell has set up a game where, you know, in 10 days, everyone's going to fight a tournament, and the winner, I guess, saves the planet or gets to destroy the planet. Big Mortal Kombat vibes.
Yep. It's I was gonna make a I lost my joke. Somebody put out a search party for that joke I lost.
Stop blocking, please. This is where the RNG really kicks in. Like, this fight could have been done a while ago, right? But he just keeps holding up that guard. Still pretty good, though. So that's Cell 2. The Cell 2 fight's not that hard. But we're going to switch to Teen Gohan now, and then it's a little bit more challenging because the AI really kicks it up a notch for the last couple bosses of the fight. But the warrior behind Goku is Gohan, who is, at this point, I believe, stronger than Goku, at least in the game.
In the game and in the manga and anime, it took him several years to realize, oh hey, Gohan's a loose cannon ready to explode.
Yeah.
Let's utilize that against literally every one of the Z Warriors put together.
Yeah, Goku says something along the lines of, oh, you're just so much better than me because once you're angry, you beat up everyone. You become super strong. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Super Saiyan Gohan 2 is just alternative universe, the Hulk.
So we have a pretty simple combo here. We kick him up in the air with a knee and then punch him 5 times. And that was relatively clean for that fight, I would say.
Yeah, that's not bad. That was a really solid fight.
Thanks. And we're going to have a little brief intermission where we have to beat up 7 little baby cells. And then we'll fight Cell himself 2 more times after that. So there you can see Cell killing one of the other androids to gain its energy.
Gohan explodes.
That would have been Android 16.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
so not to kill his energy, but kind of to stir Gohan up because 16 gives this like big passionate speech. It's like, let go of your anger and just let loose. And as 16 lets out that, Cell just like stomps on him, and that just like go watch that scene in the anime. It is a very moving scene. Like Gohan loses it, and it's a beautiful scene. Really recommend. So now we have the Cell Junior fights. 7 little Cell Juniors. Yeah, 7 little Cell Juniors taking on experienced warriors, and the experienced warriors are having a bit of trouble. Gohan gets angry and just all heck breaks loose.
Yeah, and for this one, their hitboxes are tiny, so we don't really want to pop them up in the air with the knee like we did with Cell. So we just run up to them, punch them 5 times. With our combo, we hit 5 punches, and you generally need to hit about 13 or 14 of them. So if we get a good combo where we're close enough, we can just do it in 3 little chains. But oftentimes they step back, you're not quite lined up right, they guard, so you just have to keep bashing them against the wall with your fists. But we got one more. Ah, just missed it. There we go. All right.
Almost.
Pretty good pace. Yeah,
Yeah.
almost. So we're going to fight Cell 2 more times with Team Gohan. These aren't the easiest fights in the world, so I'm, just focusing a bit. It's fine as long as he keeps guarding, but if he starts hitting combos like that, things get dicey. Stop guarding, please. Almost there, almost home. Nice. Alright, and then we'll rinse and repeat one more time. And the last fight is the next fight is actually going to be the last one of the any percent split. So if you're interested in running this for any percent category, this next fight coming up would be the last one. And the timer would end on your last hit on Cell. But we're doing the 100% category, so we're just going to let the timer run, and then it'll end on the last hit down the road.
The final battle.
But it's the final battle with 2 exclamation points. Must be serious.
Your fight's not that serious if you only have 1 exclamation point at the end of it.
Exactly. Alright, we're looking good so far. Knock on wood. Oh. All good things come to an end. Alright. That was way cleaner than I expected. So that's pretty good.
Very nice.
So that would have been about a 26, low 26 for any percent run.
The timer passed about 26:45 on stream.
Nice. Pretty happy with that. So now we're going to wrap up this. We're going to skip through all the credits, and then we're going to roll back into story mode, and then we're going to flip around and play the other side of most of these fights as the other characters. Alright.
Skipping through these credits.
Skip the credits, skip through the reload of the game, new credits, and then we'll continue. So one thing we didn't see in the setup is that if you're speedrunning this game, generally you don't want to have your game be saving, just as an FYI, because it eats up all the time as it writes to the memory card. And of course you don't need to save anyway, right? Because you're doing runs from the beginning of the game. But just as a heads up, if you're thinking of running this, don't have it save your game as you're going along.
Highly recommend checking out, or highly recommend running this game though. The fighting games community is actually a really nice community.
Oh yeah. Shout out to them too. They helped me a lot as I was learning this game too. Lots of tips and tricks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, didn't want to hit him across the screen.
Oh.
Doesn't matter too much, it's just a time loss when they go way in the other direction, of course. Alright. So there'll be one more training. Remember how we had the beam cannon where we were with Goku, we're actually going to be on the other side now as Piccolo, controlling the blast. So I'll have to spin my joysticks like a madman to power this up, but it's not too bad. But usually I can hear my monitors bouncing on my desk as I do this. Alright, we're going to get that little number under Piccolo up to 3. Alright, easy peasy. So then here's where Piccolo blasts. And then we're going to move on and do a couple more fights with Piccolo. So while Goku was off doing his thing, Piccolo has to handle some other things. And we're going to fight a bunch of, I don't even know if I'm saying this right, Cybermen. And similar to how we fought 7 little cells with Gohan, we're going to fight 7 of these with Piccolo.
Yeah, that's the right pronunciation.
Good. But these are super tiny, and unlike Gohan, Piccolo's tall, so you can't use your moves that go very high. You have to use these weird punches that go down to hit him. It's really annoying fighting some of the smaller enemies with the smaller hitboxes. And we'll see later, I'm going to have to fight Krillin a couple times, and for my money, he's the most annoying enemy in the game because he's so small. Couple down though, couple to go. Oops. Oops. Thought we were done and tried to skip the credits. Alright, and then one more. Alright. Another fight down, and then we're gonna fight Nappa again, but with Piccolo, and Nappa's actually gonna be much more difficult this time. And one issue with Nappa is he's really good fighting in the air for some reason, so we kind of hope to get him to the ground, because there's a real possibility he just beats me up while we stay in the air. So far, pretty good though. Whoop. I did that on purpose so everyone could see what I meant when I said Nappa can be difficult. I didn't want to win the fight too quickly. I wanted to just show how it can be challenging sometimes when Nappa jumps in like that. But now we're done with Piccolo for a bit, and we're going to play a lot of Vegeta in the upcoming fights.
And why wouldn't you want to play as the Prince of All Saiyans?
Seriously. So Vegeta's going to have quite a few fights, and what we do here is we just go through the story mode and we're going to complete all the stories that we didn't see. So they kind of fill in the gaps between all the stuff we saw the first time with Goku and Gohan. So Vegeta, Saiyan Prince, has to take care of 3 fights. We're going to fight Goku, we're going to fight Krillin, and we're going to fight Gohan. All with 1 health bar. The Vegeta combos are a little trickier than the Goku ones, but with some practice, they're not too bad. It still uses guard canceling. And then you use your Gallic Cannon there. And similar to Kamehameha, we were using as Goku. Alright, so Goku got a couple of good guards there, which slowed me down a little bit, but overall, not too bad of a fight. But then, as I was saying earlier, the Krillin fight is going to be rough, so hopefully this one goes pretty well. Alright, we're almost home. Uh-oh.
Oh no.
This happens so often. There have been multiple runs where I would be that close, and then they just come back and bash me to death. Fortunately, it didn't happen then, though. Defeat Kakarot's kid, so now we're going to fight Gohan. Lots of blocking going on from Gohan here. Whoop. Sometimes when they're low, it's nice to get a running cheese kick there at the end. You don't want to walk up to them a lot of times because then they'll just combo you some way. But so this finishes the flip side of the Saiyan Saga. So now we're going to go back and do the other part of the Namek Saga. Still going to be playing Vegeta, and then we'll play a little Frieza afterwards.
Vegeta's attack.
So first we're going to fight Zarbon, and DJ, can you fill us in a little on what's going on here from the story perspective? Or is this
I
rusty?
didn't watch too much of the Namek Saga, despite owning all of the DVDs, because I don't do anything digital. Vegeta has a Dragon Ball or something, and Zarbon wants it. So Zarbon transforms in order to steal it for the glory of Frieza. I don't know. Something Dragon Ball.
Sounds about right.
5-hour power-up scene, screaming Gallic gun. That's all I got.
This fight looked dicey for a second, but I think we're not home yet. Let's see. There we go. So he did grab me in that fight and threw me around, which is not what you like to see. But we escaped fine, so we're looking pretty good. Now we're gonna fight Rikum again.
So the Ginyu Force.
It's really fun fighting the enemies that have these giant hitboxes like this. Doesn't mean it's easy, but it means all your hits are probably going to land at least. This is going to be close. Nice. Nice finish there.
Very nice.
So Vegeta, the madman, is going to have to fight Frieza a couple times here.
But what Frieza doesn't realize is he's not dealing with the average Saiyan anymore. He has ascended past the normal means of what a Saiyan was. I don't remember. Something Super Saiyan.
Yeah, Vegeta is definitely powering up at this point. He's going to have the gold hair and everything pretty soon.
On the road to a Super Saiyan, one might say.
Oop, Frieza's being a little sneaky here.
Gotta get that Ultra Instinct out. Oh, wait, that's like several sagas later. Several sagas and many non-canon films.
Come on, Frieza. There we go. So it's a little late in the run to mention this, but one thing you may have noticed is there's not really any jumping or anything in this, because this game is so old. The mechanics, despite having guard canceling and stuff, does take some getting used to, because you can't jump. You can sidestep and move around the 3D plane, but it took a while to get used to the fact that you don't jump around or anything like that after coming from other fighting games to learn this one. But what Frieza was doing there was just sidestepping around me, which effectively messed up a lot of my combos. That fight took a little longer than we would expect.
Frieza keeps wave dashing, basically.
The equivalent of wave dashing, yeah.
Exactly.
He tried to do it there too, but we caught him. Oh no! It's fine. Probably. Just a time loss.
It's all good, though.
Alright, I think we're looking pretty good, actually. I might be on PB pace-ish, just to give people a frame of reference for how we're doing.
That is good.
We're definitely in striking distance of a PB.
Let's go.
So Vegeta's gonna get a rest, a little break for the time being, and we're gonna go switch over to Frieza. Raging Frieza, some might say. And by some,
So
I mean the game.
Frieza burn?
I'm loving the puns here.
Raging Frieza.
I gotta keep things chill.
So Frieza's gonna fight Gohan, Piccolo, and then Vegeta as well. So really getting the 360 view of all the fights here.
Can't beat that.
Okay, Gohan, chill out.
Gohan knows you're on PB pace.
I know.
Oh, that's
There we go.
filthy.
Alright, we didn't die, so that's a win. Good, Gohan's a little tricky again. The small hitbox. Frieza isn't that tall, but trying to hit Gohan while he's a little short too. Not the easiest thing in the world. It'll be much easier against Piccolo. Maybe.
Hey!
Ha! Just beat him to the punch there.
Ooh, almost.
What? Oh, he grabbed me because my guard cancel was slow. That's what happened right there. So I stayed in like the punching position too long, and then he was able to get a grab in there. Alright, and then we'll do Vegeta fight, and then we're moving right along. Now Frieza's serious though. Frieza's all powered up. I don't know if it's technically called Super Saiyan, but Frieza's definitely stronger now. Hence the different outfit.
So basically flash freeze?
Yeah, basically. It's the curse of a speedrunner. You don't know the story for any of the games you play, but you know all the mechanics.
I mean, is there really a story to games if you're going fast?
It's a good question. A very philosophical one.
If one is going fast and doesn't care about a story, did it really exist to begin with?
I think from the perspective of this game, about 2 seconds of each story existed. Because that's about how long we watch of each cinematic before we skip it.
For everybody in chat right now, for $5, tell me, what is the answer to that philosophical question? Let me know.
Oops. Oh, we just missed it. Oh, we were just a little slow. We're fine though. But there was about a 5-second loss there where we could have finished him, but he got a couple hits in. But now we finished the Namek Saga again, and we're just going to get in the home stretch here. Other side of the Android Saga.
Awesome.
But Frieza is learning that he died there. So we're going to do a few more Vegeta fights, and then we actually get to play as Cell at the very end of the run too. But we're back to Vegeta for the time being.
It was finally a Super Saiyan.
Finally a Super Saiyan.
Push-ups, sit-ups, and plenty of juice.
Alright, this fight's looking pretty good. Oh. Because he had low health, I just figured I'd start the combo before he got up. But, oh, he guarded it! Look at the sliver curse. There we go. So that's one thing I found frustrating as I was learning this game and trying to get good times, is so much of the variance comes in that last little hit there, where if you don't get it, you can easily lose 10 seconds of fight there. But I think that's just, this is the first fighting game I've actually learned and ran, but I think that's probably the general gist of fighting games if you're speedrunning them. It'd be nice if she would stop guarding. She sidestepped twice there, and we did a little tap dance around each other. I don't think I'd seen that before. There we go. Another fight down. So now we're going to fight Cell as Vegeta for the next couple fights. Vegeta's going to be very confident in the upcoming fights. So these will be appropriately called Vegeta's Confidence.
That out of 10 segue.
Oh, with an exclamation point, so that's how we know it's serious.
Oh, absolutely.
A lot of guarding going on from Cell. Alright. There we go. Sometimes when you lose your rhythm in this run, it's really hard to gain it back. Especially if they keep beating you up and you're trying to figure out how am I going to start this combo again. But overall that one went pretty well other than a hiccup in the middle, I would say. So one Cell fight down, and then Vegeta's got to fight Cell one more time. But now Cell's going to be in his perfect form, is what he imagines, as he starts collecting all these androids' cells and powers. The last one was, quote, imperfect Cell. So now this is perfect Cell that we have to fight. Oh no! Another burst! We didn't want that to happen. So now I'm spinning the joysticks quickly. We won it, but we didn't do a lot of damage from it. As long as he doesn't guard this. There we go. Alright, almost there. We got 3 more fights left, and then we'll be done with the DBZ Budokai 100%. So we have 2 fights as Cell here. And then 1 fight is Cellin.
I mean, I'm sure there are plenty of fights that Cell is in.
Indeed. So we're actually going to fight 16, which we saw way earlier in the run just get killed. So now we're going to see the fight that leads up to that. Pretty good start. The Cell fights aren't necessarily easy, so again, trying to focus here. Don't want to get comboed here and lose all of our good time that we've made. There we go. So Cell is kind of weird because some of his moves charge up in weird places, so if you're learning this and you play as Goku, where you have, you know, the same 4 combos you do regularly. Once you switch to Cell, the timing is a little bit different for all of them, so it's easy to get kind of lost in what you're doing there. So it takes a little extra brain power to get through it. And this is my least favorite fight of the whole run. Because every time I get close, Krillin just breaks out the punches and really throws off the timing of the combos that you do. Makes me wonder how this was determined to be very easy by the devs.
Yeah, the first one's never an exact science, though.
True. Oh no, I didn't want to hit him through the stage!
Oh, no.
Ah! So if you hit him really hard, close to a wall, they'll go through the outside and do a little extra damage there. Which you don't necessarily want to do, because it takes extra time, but we did it anyway. So this is going to be the last... Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, though, allowing Krillin to do that much damage to semi-perfect Cell, that's the real sin.
Sorry I let you down then.
Oh, I forgot this was in the game.
So this is going to be the last fight, so just for the timers, the timer will end on my last hit on Yamcha. So this is the last fight, and it's not hard, but it is frustrating because he guards a lot, he's pretty fast, but really you just go in and you just mash punch like we did with Gohan earlier. And then we just hope for good RNG where he doesn't guard too much. Stop guarding, please. Oh my gosh.
See, this is why everybody hates Yamcha.
Alright, so the time's gonna be after I get this last hit here someday. And time. Wow, I actually think that was... Oh, that was pretty close to a PB. I might have missed it by about 10 seconds, but talk about consistency.
Very nice.
That's the end of DBZ Budokai, 100%. Going
Beautiful.
through all the fights.